Life doesn't come with an instruction manual. No one hands you a guide on how to handle betrayal, rejection, or failure. We're taught equations, grammar, and history, but not how to survive reality. So today, I want to share with you 12 brutal life lessons no one teaches you, the ones that actually shape you into someone powerful, unshakable, and truly alive. Nobody is coming to save you. Harsh? Yes, true. Absolutely. You can wait for help, pity, or a miracle. But the truth is, your life doesn't change until you do something about it. The moment you stop waiting for rescue and start taking ownership, that's the moment you begin to win. People care more about themselves than about you. You think everyone's watching, judging, or gossiping. They're not. They're too busy worrying about their own lives. So stop living for approval. You free yourself when you realize no one's paying that much attention. Comfort is the enemy of growth. We all crave it, the warm blanket of safety. But comfort kills ambition. Every uncomfortable conversation, every hard choice, every failure, that's the gym for your soul. Growth only happens when you're willing to be uncomfortable. Life doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards action. You can mean well all you want, but unless you do something, it doesn't count. Execution beats intention every single time. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you've already done. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some people show up just to see if you'll fail. Pay attention to energy, not words. Learn to read motives. Trust is earned, not given. Protect your circle and guard your peace like it's sacred, because it is. You will be misunderstood, and that's okay. If you stand for something, people will twist it. If you chase big dreams, people will doubt it. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be effective. Stay focused on purpose, not perception. Failure is not your enemy. Comfort is. Failure teaches, it toughens, it refines. Every scar, every setback, it's data, it's feedback. Use it. Don't run from it. The only real failure is refusing to try again. The world owes you nothing. You can be good, kind, and hardworking and still get hit by life. That's not unfair. That's reality. The world doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand. So demand more from yourself first. Your emotions are valid, but they're not always right. Feelings are signals, not commands. You can feel tired and still push through. You can feel afraid and still act brave. Strength isn't the absence of emotion. It's the mastery of it. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is armor. You won't always feel like showing up, but show up anyway, because consistency builds power and power builds freedom. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. Sometimes you have to outgrow people, places, and even versions of yourself. Growth often looks like loneliness before it looks like transformation. Let go of what weighs you down, or it'll anchor you to the past. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. That's the secret. You don't avoid storms. You learn to stand in them. You learn to breathe in chaos, to stay calm when others panic, and to walk through fire with purpose. That's how warriors are made. Quietly, painfully, beautifully. Life will not go easy on you, and it's not supposed to. The point isn't to escape pain or hardship. The point is to build the kind of strength that can carry you through anything. So stop waiting for easy. Start getting strong, because the most powerful version of you is the one that refused to give up when life got brutal. No one is coming to save you. Take full ownership of your life. This is one of the hardest truths you'll ever face, and yet it's the one that changes everything once you finally accept it. From the moment we're born, we're conditioned to believe that someone else will step in when things get tough. As children, our parents fix things for us. As students, Teachers guide us. As adults, we hope that a friend, a boss, or maybe even fate will intervene and make life better. But at some point, you realize that waiting for help is a silent form of surrender. Life is not a rescue mission. It's a responsibility. The people you expect to show up for you, they have their own lives to manage, their own struggles, their own storms. Not because they don't care, but because they're fighting their own battles. You can't blame them for not carrying your weight. It was never theirs to carry. The faster you accept that, the faster you take control, you realize that your growth, your happiness, your success, and your peace of mind are all your job, not your parents, not your partners, not the systems. Yours. Taking ownership means looking at your life with brutal honesty. It means admitting that your choices led you here. The good and the bad. It's not about guilt or shame. It's about power. Because if your choices created your current reality, your future choices can create something better. That's where your freedom begins. Ownership turns you from a victim into a strategist. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I do about it? That single shift changes your entire mindset. It's easy to wait for help because it lets you avoid responsibility. You can blame the world for your unhappiness. You can blame your job, your family, your past. You can live comfortably in excuses. But that comfort is an illusion. It's the slow poison that keeps you small. The moment you decide that no one is coming, that it's all on you, you activate something powerful inside you. A kind of inner authority. You stop negotiating with weakness and start acting from strength. You stop seeking approval and start making moves. You stop wishing for a better life and start building one. When you rely on others to fix you, you stay fragile. When you rely on yourself, you become unstoppable. That doesn't mean you never ask for help. It means you never depend on it. There's a difference. Help is a resource. Dependence is a cage. People can guide you, inspire you, or support you, but they cannot do the work for you. No one can wake up early for you, face your fears for you, or push you past your limits. That's your job. The world respects action. It doesn't care about your potential. It cares about what you produce. You might be waiting for motivation, clarity, or the perfect time. But those things don't arrive before action. They arrive because of it. You get stronger by lifting the weight yourself. You gain confidence by showing up when you don't feel ready. You earn respect by doing what others avoid. Every step you take without a safety net builds self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of every kind of success. Think about the people you admire most. They're not the ones who had the easiest path. They're the ones who stopped waiting to be saved. They turned their pain into purpose, their fear into fuel. They learned that if they wanted something, they'd have to go and get it. And here's the truth. You have that same capacity. You might not feel like it right now, but it's there, buried under years of doubt and hesitation. The moment you start acting, that strength begins to surface. When you take ownership, you stop playing the blame game. You stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I will figure it out. You stop waiting for someone to hand you opportunities and start creating them. You stop chasing permission and start granting it to yourself. You understand that no one owes you success. No one owes you happiness. Those things are earned, not given. And the only person who can earn them for you is you. Ownership also means taking control of your mindset, because life won't always go your way. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Unexpected problems will hit you when you least expect it. But when you've built the habit of taking responsibility, you don't break down every time something goes wrong. You adapt. You learn You find solutions. You stop reacting like a victim and start responding like a leader. You understand that you can't control everything, but you can always control your attitude, your effort, and your next move. That's where real power lies. It's easy to envy people who seem to have it all figured out, but what you don't see is the work behind it. The lonely hours, the rejections, the sleepless nights, the decisions made without anyone's reassurance. The ones who rise are the ones who stopped expecting easy. They stopped waiting for support and became their own backbone. They realized that no one was coming to fix their life, so they picked up the tools and started building. Most people live their lives waiting for the right time, the right person, the right opportunity. But while they wait, time moves, life moves, and those who act, they move ahead. Waiting is a trap disguised as patience. The truth is there's no perfect time. There's only now, and now is enough to start. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take one step, then another and another. That's how you create momentum. That's how you create change. Taking full ownership is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to face your mistakes, your weaknesses, your fears. But it also gives you power that nothing else can. You stop being controlled by circumstances because you learn to control your response. You stop being defined by your past because you realize you can rewrite your story. You stop waiting for life to happen to you because you start happening to life. No one is coming to save you. And that's not a tragedy. It's an opportunity. It means you're free to build the life you want without waiting for permission. It means you are the hero, the architect, the force that shapes your world. The sooner you embrace that truth, the sooner you'll stop surviving and start living with purpose. Because the moment you decide to take ownership, everything changes. Comfort kills growth. Choose challenge over ease. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort. They build their days around convenience, security, and predictability because comfort feels safe. It gives the illusion of control. But what comfort really does is trap you. It dulls your hunger, numbs your edge, and slowly kills your potential. Growth never happens in the comfort zone, and comfort never creates strong people. Every person you admire, every success story you look up to was forged through discomfort. Behind every breakthrough is someone who chose to be uncomfortable when everyone else was seeking ease. Comfort is seductive. It whispers, "Stay here, you've done enough." It tells you that resting a little longer, waiting a little more, won't hurt. And while you sit in that comfort, life moves forward without you. Opportunities pass, momentum fades. And before you realize it, you're stuck, not because you're incapable, but because you got too comfortable. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it's the enemy of progress. Growth requires friction. It requires effort. It demands that you leave the warmth of what you know and step into the cold unknown. When you chase challenge, you activate parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You learn to think differently, to adapt, to endure. Your muscles don't grow without resistance, and neither does your mind. The only way to discover your strength is to test it. And that test won't happen when everything feels easy. It happens when you're frustrated, when you want to quit, when you're uncomfortable and keep going anyway. That's where transformation begins. In the moments that demand more than you thought you had. Most people fear discomfort because it exposes weakness. It forces you to confront your limits, but that's the point. If you never face your limits, how can you expand them? Every time you do something hard, wake up early when you don't want to, speak up when your voice shakes, take a risk when failure is possible. You stretch your capacity. You train your mind to push through resistance instead of retreat from it. That mental toughness becomes your advantage in a world full of people avoiding anything that feels hard. Look around. The ones who achieve extraordinary things are rarely the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who chose to endure what others avoided. They made peace with discomfort. They trained themselves to do the hard things, even when they didn't feel ready, even when they were scared. Growth is not glamorous. It's sweat, repetition, and struggle. It's long hours, countless mistakes, and invisible effort. You won't always get applause for it. But while others stay comfortable and stagnant, you'll keep evolving. Comfort tells you that struggle is a sign you're doing something wrong. The truth is, struggle is the sign you're doing something right. Discomfort means you're changing. It means you're challenging old habits, breaking mental barriers, and building resilience. The pain you feel when you're stretching yourself is the pain of becoming stronger. But if you keep running back to comfort every time it gets hard, you'll never experience that transformation. You'll just stay the same, safe, but unfulfilled. There's a reason why success feels rare, because it requires people to tolerate what most can't. You can't grow a business, a career, a relationship, or even a healthy body without discomfort. You have to make tough choices, face rejection, deal with uncertainty, and keep moving when it feels like nothing is working. You have to push through boredom, fear, and fatigue. You have to do what others won't so you can live how others can't. That's the price of progress. Comfort convinces you that happiness comes from ease, but real fulfillment comes from mastery. And mastery comes from struggle. When you push past what's easy, you start to respect yourself more. You build confidence that isn't based on external validation, but on proof that you can handle more than you thought. Every time you choose challenge over comfort, you're telling yourself, I can do hard things. That belief changes the way you show up in every area of life. The problem is that modern life is designed for comfort. Everything is one click away. We can avoid confrontation with a text, avoid discomfort with distractions, and avoid effort with shortcuts. But easy doesn't build character. The more comfortable you become, the weaker your tolerance for challenge gets. And the weaker you get, the more life overwhelms you. The only way to toughen your spirit is to seek out things that stretch it. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Discomfort is not punishment. It's preparation. Every difficult thing you face teaches you something about who you are. When you push through, you realize you're stronger, smarter, and more capable than you ever imagined. The pain you feel today becomes the power you carry tomorrow. Those who embrace discomfort learn to operate under pressure, to stay calm in chaos, and to keep moving when others freeze. That's what separates those who succeed from those who quit. When you choose challenge, you start controlling the direction of your growth. Instead of waiting for life to test you, you test yourself. You lift heavier, speak louder, think deeper, and dream bigger. You stop avoiding failure and start using it. Every challenge becomes data, feedback that helps you adapt and improve. You learn not to take setbacks personally, but strategically. You stop fearing pain because you understand it's temporary, but the lessons it gives you are permanent. Choosing discomfort doesn't mean rejecting joy or peace. It means refusing stagnation. It means you value progress over pleasure. It means you understand that growth is not supposed to feel good all the time. It's supposed to feel necessary. When you live for challenge, you find deeper satisfaction than comfort could ever give. You start craving the process instead of the result. You stop seeking ease and start seeking excellence. Most people never become who they could be because they never choose discomfort on purpose. They wait for life to push them instead of pushing themselves. But those who rise choose the harder path. They chase situations that test their patience, their courage, and their endurance. They do it because they know that every time they choose challenge, they become harder to break. They build a kind of strength that no comfort can give, the kind that stays calm in storms, that adapts under pressure, that keeps moving no matter what. Growth will always demand a price. It will cost you comfort, convenience, and ease. But in exchange, it gives you strength, clarity, and confidence. The discomfort you avoid today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. The discomfort you face today becomes the resilience you live with forever. That's the trade-off. That's the truth. Discipline outlasts motivation. Consistency builds power. Motivation feels exciting. It's the spark that gets you started, the surge of energy that makes you believe you can conquer anything. But the problem with motivation is that it fades. It's emotional, unpredictable, and temporary. You can't rely on it because it depends on how you feel, and feelings change every single day. Some mornings you'll wake up inspired and ready to move mountains. Other days you'll wake up tired, drained, and not in the mood to do anything. If you depend on motivation, your life will always be inconsistent. Bursts of effort followed by long pauses of inactivity. Discipline is what bridges that gap. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Discipline is not about feeling like doing something. It's about doing it anyway. It's a decision, a commitment to yourself that doesn't bend to emotion or circumstance. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired, busy, or bored. It's the quiet voice that says, do it anyway. When you build discipline, you build a kind of self-respect that motivation can never give you. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove that you can trust you. That's how real confidence is built, not through words or hype, but through consistency. Motivation is about the moment. Discipline is about the mission. Motivation makes you feel good now, but discipline builds something that lasts. When you rely on motivation, you'll always need external triggers, a song, a quote, a speech, a deadline. You become a slave to inspiration. But when you rely on discipline, you don't wait for inspiration. You act from intention. You show up not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. And that identity, the identity of someone who follows through, becomes your foundation. Discipline is freedom disguised as effort. Most people think discipline is restriction, that it limits spontaneity and joy. But the truth is, discipline creates the structure that allows freedom to exist. When you're disciplined with your time, you have more control over your day. When you're disciplined with your habits, your health improves. When you're disciplined with your emotions, you stop being controlled by impulses. Discipline gives you options. It gives you clarity. It gives you strength. Without it, you drift. With it, you direct. The difference between amateurs and professionals is discipline. Amateurs work when they're inspired. Professionals work until the work is done. Amateurs wait for the right time. Professionals make time. The people who achieve mastery in any field, whether it's art, sports, leadership, or business, are not the ones who felt motivated every day. They're the ones who showed up when it was hard, boring, or inconvenient. They built routines that didn't depend on moods. They learned to love the process more than the praise. Discipline teaches you patience. It teaches you that progress takes time, that results don't appear overnight, and that consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to make massive leaps every day. You just need to take steady steps. That's how power accumulates, slowly, quietly, deliberately. The small choices you make daily compound into something extraordinary. The discipline to stay consistent when there's no reward, no applause, no visible progress. That's what separates the successful from the average. Discipline is uncomfortable because it demands control in a world that glorifies ease. We live in a time where everything is designed for instant gratification, fast food, fast entertainment, fast validation. Discipline rejects that. It requires you to delay pleasure, to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term fulfillment. It means saying no when everyone else says yes. It means choosing to do what's necessary instead of what's convenient. And that choice, repeated daily, is how strong people are made. When you start living with discipline, you realize that your biggest enemy isn't laziness. It's inconsistency. You don't need to work harder once. You need to work steadily. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be reliable. Even doing something imperfectly every day is more powerful than doing it perfectly once in a while. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum builds mastery. Once you have momentum, it becomes harder to stop than to keep going. That's when discipline transforms from something you do into something you are. Motivation feels good but burns out fast. Discipline feels heavy but builds endurance. Motivation pushes you to start. Discipline carries you to the finish line. Every great athlete, artist, or entrepreneur knows this. They've trained their minds to override emotion. They know that action comes first, feelings follow later. You can't wait to feel inspired to act. You act to feel inspired. Discipline is that first step taken without enthusiasm, but with purpose. Discipline also gives you resilience. When life gets messy, when plans fall apart, when failure hits, motivation disappears instantly. But discipline keeps you grounded. It reminds you of your standards, your goals, your commitments. It keeps you focused when chaos surrounds you. Discipline makes you dependable, not just to others, but to yourself. You know you'll show up even if no one's watching, even if you're not being rewarded. That reliability becomes your greatest strength. There will always be days when you don't want to do it, when you're tired, uninspired, or discouraged. Those are the days that count the most, because that's when discipline does what motivation can't. That's when you prove to yourself that you're not controlled by how you feel. You're controlled by what you've decided. Every time you push through resistance, you strengthen that mental muscle. And over time, that muscle becomes unbreakable. Discipline is self-love in action. It's choosing to do what's best for your future self, even when your present self wants comfort. It's the difference between temporary pleasure and lasting pride. It's telling yourself, I deserve better and I'm willing to work for it. That's not punishment. That's power. The more disciplined you become, the more respect you earn from yourself. And that respect turns into confidence because you know you can rely on you. The truth is, motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that finishes the job. Anyone can be motivated for a day. Few can be disciplined for years. Discipline is what allows you to outlast your emotions, outperform your excuses, and outgrow your limitations. It's what turns potential into power, ideas into action, and dreams into reality. Discipline doesn't ask if you feel ready. It simply demands that you show up. And showing up over and over again is how real power is built.